13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new episode of Granny's Peach Tea, episode 205 for those who were counting on this glorious Sunday evening, summer Sunday evening. Excited. We do have another MCU series to talk about. It is Ryan Coogler's Eyes of Wakanda. And some interesting backstory with our show, but we're going to hold that off for a second. But thanks for joining us. As always, if you're joining us on the Facebook live stream, if you're joining us on YouTube, or wherever you found your audio of this podcast, we always appreciate the support. I am Ed, and with me as always is Jason. Jason, what's up? What's going on? Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. Happy Sunday. Happy summer. Good to be here. I got a couple things I'm going to give a little mini reviews of stuff that falls in our purview, but we would not do on the show. So while you share out the show, so start off. My son just found he's been watching The Addams Family nonstop on Amazon.
Okay,
which fun.
The original?
No, I wish.
Oh, I was like, whoa.
No. The kids movies. They're like newer kids movies from like the late 2000s, like 2019, 2010s. It's fine. I think Oscar Isaac is Gomez, but that's not even the point. So he's been watching those, and then he let it lapse and go to the next movie. The next movie was called A Merry Little Batman, and it's a Batman Christmas movie.
We opted to skip that.
We did, and I'm glad we did. There's really not much. I've seen it now because I watched it with Finn. It's for kids. It's not terrible. It's for kids. But I'm going to say that anyone who has a kid who is maybe interested who likes Batman, this might be a good one. It's got all the villains. Batman is a dad. Damian dons like it's a child. Dons the bat suit. I believe that's Luke Wilson doing the voice of Batman, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it is, if I remember right.
It sounds like him. So like if you got a kid, I wouldn't say like unless you're a diehard completist, well, as an adult for yourself, I wouldn't necessarily say you need to watch it because it is very specifically for kids. But if you got a kid who likes Batman, my son has been watching it nonstop. I've seen it like 3 times now.
Nice. And I remember when that came out, and I had the gut feeling that it was going to be even though we do animated stuff, right? Like me and you covered some animated stuff, but if it's like we're not covering like Disney Junior stuff, we're not covering Spidey and his amazing friends and stuff like that. Even though I would love to cover Spider-Man and his amazing friends, because that's complete lunacy.
Let's do it. I'm for that. It's a step above, I think, Spider-Man and his amazing friends, but it's definitely for kids. Like, Damian's taken on all of the criminals who have tricked Batman leaving and have come back to ruin Christmas by stealing all the presents. Like it's like that, But for kids, glad we didn't cover it. But for kids, I'd say go for it.
Okay.
And I did another movie that fell in our purview, and I would have had to have been the one to push for this movie, and I didn't even fucking clock it. It was in and out so fast. But it's a movie called Until Dawn. It's a video game movie.
Okay.
And so it's based on a game which is like a horror themed game, but it's one of those games where you pretty much you make choices and that determines the story, but you're playing pretty much through a movie with multiple branching pathways. And I didn't think this movie was going to be good, but I was curious how they would get what they were going to do with the story, because the story is a good story for a game like that, but it's very convoluted. Like, it starts off with serial killers and ends up with Wendigos. And I will say that this adaptation, I didn't love it. It was, I enjoyed it. I thought, like, don't think about it if you watch it. Don't think about it when it's over, because it falls apart. It just doesn't make much sense.
Okay.
Because essentially, the plot is they're looking for this one woman's sister who went missing. They follow her to this place that is magic, and they essentially get caught in a time loop where they're killed by something, like, every day. Like something, and this was interesting because we were able to get Wendigos, we were able to get all sorts of shit that show up in this game. It kind of made sense, quote unquote, but it falls apart real quick. So I'm going to give it a lot of points for innovation, a lot of points for really thinking outside the box to how to make this story work, but it doesn't. And I'm glad we didn't have to cover it. I'm glad I was able to just sort of give that review there, and we could let it go.
Give it like a light gloss over it quickly and keep it.
Yeah. That's right. Because there's not much there to discuss. It really just would have been you. It would have been you breaking down about me about them breaking their own fucking rules, because they do, and then us pondering at the end. It's crazy. And then us trying to figure out at the end how the hell it all happened, because they give you an explanation about how these people get killed and resurrected, but it's not a good one.
Oh boy, that sucks. Damn it, that's rough. It's kind of like when I was listening to John Campia's review. He's one of the guys I listen to on YouTube, and he was given a breakdown of the new War of the Worlds, which stars Ice Cube.
Oh, okay.
Which
I
think still has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's that bad?
It is, but see now, and I know you, Jason. The light bulb may have just went off. Like, oh, wait a second, I'm gonna watch this now, because if you're telling me it's a 0, I have to see this with my own eyes.
I might.
I thought the same thing. That's why I knew I saw the light bulb on top of your head. So I'm like, ooh, wait a second. This is that bad? I mean, 0? That's an accomplishment in its own.
It can't be that bad. Yeah, it can't be that bad. Are people just like review bombing because there's a black man in it? Is it one of those things? Or is it really bad?
No. He said basically his thing is this. He usually never does spoilers and stuff like that. He's like, this movie is so bad. I'm trying to protect people from watching it. And I'm going to just spoil it right now. No, John Campia, who's YouTube.
Oh, John Campia. Okay.
Yes, who's he's really good. I like him. And he was just like, and when he started talking about the logic in the movie, Jason, my mind was melting in the shower while I was listening to this. Like, I almost jumped out of my own window of how stupid it was.
Oh man, no. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked if next week you give a review of War of the Worlds. It's a start this thing off.
I might
watch some of it. You're thinking it.
I am. I've been watching bad movies lately. So
I
watched Birdemic for the first time. So
really?
If I could sit, I did. Yeah, I watched it like 2 nights ago. It was rough. It's a rough movie.
So I don't know. Did Reg mention to you about the Facebook exchange regarding weapons?
No.
Oh, okay. So I saw weapons Friday afternoon. I went to a nice matinee, saw weapons. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I was really into it. I think you will enjoy it as well. And I think Reg will enjoy it as well. So if you guys get a chance, you might have to see it separately. I know how that works. So,
unfortunately, yeah.
I think you should check it out. And I would love to talk to you about that movie because it is it's interesting. That's for those who
Okay.
may not know. Jason and I also, besides our comic book podcast, we both really love horror movies as well. And
Yeah,
another
I mean
podcast
movies in
about
general, but
yeah, exactly, just
yeah,
movies
true.
in general.
Yeah.
Here's another one about that, but yeah, I would like you would like Weapons, I think, and I would be shocked if Ginny hasn't seen it like really soon.
Okay.
Because
All right.
it's good.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I will just say is that I'm not going to act like it didn't cross my mind while I was watching it, but it does include Thanos, Wong, Silver Surfer, and damn it, from Ironheart. He was young Han Solo also. He's really good in this movie too.
Okay. Oh, all those actors are in this movie?
Yes, no, it's a loaded. It's got a
That's
pretty
crazy.
awesome cast. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a really well made movie.
I need to. All right. I think I'm gonna check it out this week. I need to go hit a matinee movie this week.
Yeah, if there's one that's out there you want to go for, I would recommend Weapons, and then let's
okay. So I should see that over Naked Gun.
Ooh,
because that was the one I was thinking about seeing this week.
That's tough. I'm gonna say see Naked Gun now because it's gonna be out of the theater before Weapons is, because it came out first. That's the only reason I would. So if you can maybe finagle Naked Gun and then Weapons the following week, because I know it'll still be out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you should definitely see Naked Gun because it was so awesome to actually go to the theater and laugh my ass off.
Okay, so I'm glad it was funny. I'm glad
it was really funny. I wouldn't say it was the first two. It's not up there with like the Naked Gun. Yeah, or I wouldn't put it there with 2.5, but it's still really funny.
Okay. Yeah, I don't expect it to be as good as that first one. That first one's a masterpiece of comedy. I mean,
yeah, and the second one, 2.5 is really excellent.
It is, and I like 33 1/3 too.
So do I. But I do acknowledge it's not even that as the first two.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Jason. That's where I got my like a blind man in orange. I'm gonna feel my way through. Right? So it obviously resonated with me also.
Yeah, love that movie.
No, they're all good. They're all good. All right, so let's get to it because I know we just kind of got like one thing this week. It feels a little bit odd.
Yeah,
but
we're just slow, having a chat, talking, relaxing.
Yeah, that's all.
Not rushing through things.
Yeah, that's all. We're not like on a time limit here. But I'm going to drop the spoiler warning across the bottom. All right, so there is a new limited series on Disney Plus, which is the latest entry to the MCU, and it's all 4 episodes are out now, 30 minutes each. We were talking before, easy watch. But this is Ryan Coogler produced Eyes of Wakanda, which I just dropped. It is an animated series, not live action, but I thought it was. I'm going to be honest. I guess let's do overall thoughts right now. Spoiler warning across the bottom if you haven't watched it because it hasn't been out that long. So you've been warned. I'm going to be honest. I thought this was an interesting show to watch because I'm going to be honest. The first episode or two, I kind of thought we were meandering a bit, and I'm like, okay, where is this going? This is about a bunch of random characters that I don't really care that much about, but I knew going into it was going to be about different parts. It was going to be tied to Wakanda throughout time. Like I knew the basic concept of what it was going to be. And then, like I mentioned to you, I watched episodes 1 and 2 yesterday, and then 3 and 4 today. And by the end of the last episode, I probably saved the entire series because my review of this would have been very different if it would have continued to feel like it was meandering through episodes 3 and 4, which I don't think it did. I felt like it kind of like, it was like, oh, okay, there's a point to all of this. And it's not just, we need to put out some content for Disney Plus. That's Marvel related.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. I didn't love this series, but I thought it was pretty cool. It was there. I don't think it's must
It
see.
was there.
No, I'm just saying, like, I don't think it was like. Listen, let's just take a quick second to see. The MCU is having a pretty damn good year right now, like, in my opinion, despite a couple of misses, right? Like Captain America: Brave New World. Like, neither one of us were over the moon about that.
Yeah, it's fine.
Exactly. That's basically it was there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right? More or less. And then, though, they knocked it out of the park. Well, like, we both loved Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was a surprise. That was
a surprise. It was way better than I thought it was going to be. And then we got Thunderbolts, which we both adored as well. Right?
Still got my box.
Yeah, so we both adored that. Then we got Daredevil Born Again. Okay, yeah. Grand Slam on top of that. Like, yeah, Ironheart. I think, even though we didn't get to review it fully together, I think we both kind of landed in around the same place where it was like,
yeah,
it was there.
Yeah, it was fine. It was interesting
fine.
enough.
But the Mephisto thing elevated things. Yeah. Yeah, definitely elevated
there.
Yes. Especially because for us, that was also something we were 200 episodes chasing. But Jason, we actually talked about this series going into production in our first episode as well.
Get the fuck out of here. What?
Yes, we talked about it because if Ryan Coogler had signed a contract to have it's like first C contract with Marvel, and he was going to produce a series for Disney Plus around stories of Wakanda. We talked about that story in episode 1. 205 episodes later, it's come around.
The 3.5 hour episode. Shit, I got to go back and see what I thought. If I thought it was a good idea or not.
I kind of want to know too. I mean, I don't know.
Sure, at the time it sounded good.
It sounded like a good idea. And then Fantastic Four. So, which we both adored as well. So, they've had a good year. But, yeah, this is definitely on the Ironheart level. You know, I don't know. It's tough. Where did it land with you?
It was fine.
Wow. Okay.
I actually have to say that I agree with you 100%. The first 2 episodes were like, what are we doing here? Like, first episode was like, okay, all right, I'm kind of curious, but they didn't grab me yet. Second episode, I was like, oh my god, if it's like this, it's just like we go through history and we rewrite history and sometimes myth, because I don't think the Odyssey actually happened with not the Odyssey, the Trojan Wars, everything. I don't like the Trojan horse. That's from literature. I don't think that really happened, but whatever. Yeah. But that episode in particular seems so cliche. Like I was telling what lines were coming next. And I thought it ended. Oh, we're doing overall. Sorry, but anyway, but that in particular was the weakling for me that I went, and we'll get into the episode where I was like, oh god, if it's like this, I'm not gonna like it. But then I really liked the third episode.
Yes,
I thought the characters were cool. I thought the story was energized. I was having trouble figuring out what time periods I was in throughout, because it kind of seems like everyone else in the Stone Age and the Wakandans are flying around in fucking planes. And I'm like, I get the technology thing, but they realistically should only be maybe 1 or 2 technological steps ahead. They shouldn't be like decades ahead. That kind of didn't make any sense to me.
Thank you.
But I had no idea when that third one took place, and then I stopped caring because I was enjoying the characters. I think the character Ebo is my favorite in all of the series. I love that guy. And then the fourth one was like interesting because it was time travel, and then it sets up like the MCU proper. And so, you know, again, I didn't agree with you. I didn't really like the first 2 episodes. the last 3 episodes saved this review for me, because if it wasn't for the last 2 episodes, I'd be saying no, I didn't like this at all.
Yeah, I would have definitely when I watched the first 2 and then overnight I'm like getting ready to sit down and watch 3 and 4, and I was like, all right, deep breath. Let's do this. I didn't know, and I wasn't sure what we were getting, and then business picked up, and it's I know on Disney Plus I think they actually because you can sort it by the MCU timeline. This is now like the beginning of it.
Oh, okay.
Because technically, I guess some of the events, this is the earliest events we get at all.
Wait, is that true? Earlier than the Eternals, which literally starts with them coming to Earth pre-civilization?
I don't know. I mean, that's what they had said it there, which I think there's. Well, then the Eternals also takes place in different times.
Okay, all right.
Technicality there.
All right.
Because they do flash the time period in the beginning of every episode of this, like very quickly.
Right.
It's like blink and you'll miss it. But all right, let's do the episodes. I mean, again, it's a half an hour episode, so we're not gonna sit there and get two bananas about this. Episode 1 is Into the Lion's Den. So basically, there's a disgrace. So actually, it has some of them on here. This one was in 1260 BC. A disgraced former Dora Milaje named Noni pursues a man known as Lion, who defected from Wakanda Guard to lead a band of pirates. So this episode is basically the birth of the war dogs, right? Like that's essentially what we get from this, and isn't the theme that goes on. We see the first artifact that needs to be recovered from Wakanda that's put out into the world, and that is the reoccurring theme throughout the first 3 episodes, basically. And which is why I was kind of wondering where on earth is this going, and if we're just going to keep recovering artifacts. I'm like, okay, where's Indiana Jones at some point? Why are they not running into him? I agree with you. This is the weakest episode of them. This one was kind of like, all right, I get it, Birth of War Dogs. This character also, Noni, she ends up carrying over to episode 2, and we catch up with her later.
As the Wakanda's Nick Fury.
Yeah, basically, because she has to. I was thinking the same thing, just like the one eye or whatever. There's some interesting action. There's a pretty cool fight with the Lion and Noni that takes place at the end there. I thought the action throughout this was fine. I mean, there was some pretty cool fights and everything. The animation, I don't know how I necessarily feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know me. I don't love animation. I don't love animated stuff. It's got to be really good for me to like it. I thought the action was fine, but I'm less impressed with action when it's animated because you can literally do anything.
Yeah, that's fair. But
so
yeah, I guess my thing is just kind of like, all right, it just has to look. It has to look cool for me, at least in the animation, right? Like, because you're right, you can do anything. So you got to give me something that looks cool. And I'm not looking for like fight choreography, per se,
right?
In this, but I was fine with it. But I do think this is the weakest of the episode. But it's basically this guy, the Lion, just doesn't. He's like, I'm not going back to Wakanda. I don't want to go back there. He kept on talking about like it was a prison. Like he got out and he was exploring the world because really at this point in time, Wakanda is, like you had mentioned, which was one of my dings on this thing, was the technology that Wakanda has compared to, I mean, this is what did I say, 1260 BC?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1260 BC. It's a bit nuts.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Like, because then how come their technology never, like, they reached the pinnacle of technology in BC and then just never moved on until the rest of the world caught up with them, because they're not that far more advanced than everyone else at this point. Yeah,
exactly. And that's where I'm like, okay, it doesn't quite add up for me. You got anything else on this episode, really? I mean, I thought this was like pretty straightforward.
No. Again, it should have really been it needed to be like a punch to the gut to get your attention. It just wasn't. And I think also too, this character did not feel new to me. Like I felt like I've seen this character before, like the disgraced Dormilaje, coming. Like we've seen this done before, like just in Wakanda Forever. No,
Yeah, actually, we did. We did see this before.
so
It's a little
yeah,
recycled.
so it didn't feel. Yeah, it felt kind of cliched, kind of stale, and for this to have worked for me, I would have need to have really liked the characters, and I didn't get much character in this. So,
and even the Lion, like he was kind of cool, but it wasn't like anything we ever
he's a villain
seen before. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he's a one-note villain. I mean, I think the most interesting thing about the episode is the idea of, slavery is freedom type of thing. I put them in bondage to free them, but there wasn't enough done with that.
Yeah, it kind of dips its toe in it, and then just kind of keeps it moving. Yeah, that's fair. I'm sure. Episode 2 is Legends and Lies. The Memnon tries to infiltrate Troy while carrying out a secret mission to recover Wakandan artifact. Deep within the city walls, the Greeks devise a plan to catch Trojans off guard and sneak inside the city. So he basically teams up with Achilles, and we find out like they're good friends and stuff like that, and they're working together. And you kind of knew like where this. I think you had said this was the one where we kind of both. So you see where everything is going to go. He's going to fight Achilles, which he does at the end, and he ends up slicing and getting his Achilles heel, and all the other thing. Like you knew exactly,
right?
Which, by the way, I told Angie about. And she was like, "Yeah, that's where Achilles tendon and all that. Like that's kind of
absolutely." And then the fact that he keeps healing Achilles, except like that's the wound that he's found dead with, and then the whole issue about like at the end, like Achilles like, you didn't betray, and then in my head I'm like, Greece, you betrayed me. Yes, and that's exactly what the line is. It's like I thought this episode was like the first one I was like, this one I thought was fucking terrible.
Yeah, it's funny because did you ever see Troy?
Yes, Brad Pitt. It was Brad Pitt, right?
Yeah, it was a kid. In my mind, for some bizarre reason, I kept on thinking and like envisioning Brad Pitt playing this version of Achilles as well throughout it. And I don't know if it was maybe elevating the material or not, but that's kind of what I don't know why I kept going back to that. And then of course he gets the artifact back again, and that's where he runs into Noni at the end, who has one eye, and you mentioned is basically Nick Fury at that point. And we catch up with her story, and I mean that's kind of the episode.
That's it. And to me, it made me dislike the Wakandan agents because I thought Memnon was a fucking asshole. I think Achilles was 100% right in everything, because Achilles takes this guy in like his brother, defends him against his countrymen, and this guy is just using Achilles to get to the artifact while pretending they're still, oh no, we're really friends. This is just business. When he gets the artifact, he very easily, because the whole thing is they're trying to find Paris and I forget her name, but the Helena, and Memnon does and gets the thing and then goes, okay, you can go now. I'll hold Achilles off. And it's like, well, you didn't actually have to betray Achilles. You could have. You didn't have to kill them. You just have to let them go, and then their fate is on Achilles. And you like, why were you being such an asshole? Of course, Achilles is once going to kill you. You fucking betrayed him. And the fact that he winds up winning and then goes back and he's like so torn up about it. But it's like, I don't know, dude. You kind of made some bad decisions there. So it made me actually dislike the Wild Dogs or whatever they're called.
War Dogs.
The War Dogs, because I'm like, man, if this is the first War Dog of interest that I'm watching after they're founded and this guy's a dipshit, I'm not into it.
Yeah, it's funny you mention it because I guess I can see that. Yeah, this doesn't paint the War Dogs in the greatest light. But I guess that's also why he was so distort when he went back. Because I think doesn't he? I thought he has a line something around the lines where he kind of admits that he was an asshole and that he was wrong about it, and that's why he's kind of beating himself up about it being a Wakanda.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice line. He says something like, "Even though our lives out there are fake, we were still living it," or something, or it was something like that. Because it's to say that yes, my role out there was fake, but I did actually create real bonds, But I don't know. I guess that mixed with the fact that it's like riffing on ancient Greece texts. It's like it just kind of felt done before. Like, why don't you give me something that could be Marvel related or superhero? Like, do what they did in the third episode, right? That's why I like the third episode so much, because we get to see that the golden
Iron Fist.
Face, Iron Fist. I'm saying golden. We're seeing the Iron Fist of the time. It's like I kind of wish that there was more of that peppered throughout, like touching in with some entities that are always around, but this was just like fucking Achilles. You mean it's from the myths?
Seems lazy.
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
I also kind of feel like that's a thing that pisses you off when some things we cover try to like mix in other mythology that's not theirs, and
because it does feel lazy unless it's done really, really well, and this wasn't done really, really well. Like, not to give too many spoilers, but we're going to see this because I did watch Sandman, which you have still not. We're going to cover that next time. But we're going to see a lot of that done in this Sandman season, and I'm not going to be bitching as much because I think it's done better than it is here.
That's fair. Okay. That's fair enough. You had mentioned episode 3, which is Lost and Found. After a successful mission in the mountains of China, Basher returns home unaware that a stowaway is aboard his transport. Back in the Golden City, Basher scrambles to contain the powerful intruder. And then I don't know why the hell it cut off. Yeah, whatever. It does cut off there, but that's what they have up there. But guess what? The person that's above is someone who nursed him back to health, which is, you find out, the Iron Fist of that time. Jason, how many times does the fucking dragon keep losing to keep on creating all these Iron Fists?
I don't think. I guess the dragon's like fucking Glass Joe. The dragon comes up, goes.
The dragon is like a jobber in like wrestling, and like they just keep on just like passing the ball.
Seriously, it's like fucking Iron Mike Sharf, right? Wasn't that one of the big
jobbers
of the
nice,
time?
Good pull. I like that one. Yes, Iron Mike Sharp. Man, that's one Jerry pulls from too a lot. That's a good one. Wow, that's a good one.
That's kind of what it was. What this dragon's like. I mean, everyone gets a dip of his power. I mean, fuck, I think I might be part Iron Fist.
It could be. Maybe, and check that out in the next Avengers meeting. Let's never forget
maybe
those. Yes, so I was definitely more into this one, especially when the Iron Fist at the time, shows up and she's there, and she has this whole heartfelt story too with another guy from Wakanda, though, who she nursed to health, and they kind of seemed like they had somewhat of a relationship, and then he has to like steal the artifact, this artifact from her, and by the end of it, she's like, all you gotta do is ask.
Which that was what made the episode so good, because I think it's hinted a little bit in the beginning. Someone says, why'd you bring the snake's head, the statue's head? We just needed the tongue.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I couldn't get it out. And then she comes because this head is part of this, sacred statue from her people.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's this whole thing of like, well, now he's kind of doing what was done to Wakanda. So that was interesting. And then, when you get to the end and he finally tells her what it's all about, she grabs it, uses her Iron Fist power to yank the thing out, and says, this belongs to you. You just said ask me. I thought that was, and they were just like, oh. I thought it was such a great end to the episode.
I thought it was too. And then all of a sudden, the other guy's name that was there, that was with them, he's just kind of like, Yes. He was just like, well, you had to go ahead and just ask her this whole time. Like, you could have avoided all of this. This episode would have been over in 2 minutes. Basically. But yeah.
But again, we got characters in that one. I think that's the difference, right? Like, Vasha is a character. He's kind of a rogue, a scoundrel, plays by his own rules. Ebo's a guy who's sticks to the rules. One is the by the book, I work in the office. The other is a field agent. We get, the Iron Fist, who has this whole thing where she actually is like, what, you come and you pretend to be a foreigner and you didn't think I knew you were up to something. You could have just talked. Like, she's the smartest one there. Like, and then you got like the head of the base, like, trying to get Basha because he knows something's going on, and you've got all these moving pieces with these actual characters I'm interested in.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, it looped us in because it felt like we were watching something in the MCU or Marvel Universe of some sort on Anyway. When the first two absolutely did not at all. It felt like we were watching something. I was there. If they didn't say Wakanda, then we totally would have been like, what the hell? What is going on?
Exactly.
So,
exactly.
And then that takes us to episode 4, which is the finale of this limited series, The Last Panther. During the first Italio-Ethiopian War, Kuda and Prince Tafari are tasked with retrieving a vibranium axe on their return home. An intruder intercepts their transport to return the axe, revealing the fate of their country. So the person from the future is the Last Panther, who is the Queen of Wakanda in the future, who basically is staving off an alien invasion because Wakanda stayed back, didn't integrate with the rest of the world in this timeline, and the rest of the world fell, and then they were already powered up by the time they got to Wakanda, and then Wakanda would fall then. So the interesting thing is the axe that is being referenced here is the one that Killmonger takes back for Wakanda. Yeah. Kind of like what these guys were kind of doing. So this is where I got all right, this is clever now.
I thought that was clever too. I like that. And it kind of does show like, oh yeah, that axe is, if you break it down, that axe is the catalyst for Wakanda joining the rest of the world, because had Killmonger never struck, Wakanda never would have, joined, and Killmonger doesn't strike unless they have stolen artifacts.
Mm-hmm.
So if there aren't artifacts to steal because of the war dogs, then Killmonger doesn't. So I thought that was interesting. Interesting enough for me to go, time travel stuff like this almost never makes sense, but I'll allow it. Because her thing is, you took this out and it messed up my timeline because this happened. But in reality, like, he always took that out. Like, yes. That's always been part of her timeline. But whatever. Again, I said I'm not going to go into it. I just want to point it out because I wanted to show how smart I was. That was really it.
Well, all right. So let's try to follow, because the thing is, I know that this episode specifically has been getting some shit for breaking the MCU time travel logic, right? Because this doesn't take place in the TVA, which Marvel has said straight out. In the TVA, the rules of their time travel are different, right? They've covered, for more or less, they've covered their own asses with that. In this episode, though, so my interpretation of this was, I guess, them removing the axe in the past, right? I guess that went ahead and formed a branch reality, which was her reality, right?
I mean, I guess, but like, if they remove the axe, wouldn't they have always removed the axe? Like, in order for branch realities, something has to knock it out. So if it was the case where something went back in time, and caused them to find the axe where they didn't, that would have been different. Like, if maybe one of those aliens had gotten back in time or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm not the writer. But nothing like that happens. So that would be like, imagine like we're superheroes and we go, oh shit, well, we have to go back and stop the 9/11 because that didn't happen originally. It's like, but it did. Like nothing.
Nothing caused it to
and,
change. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's my thing with the time travel. Like it just doesn't make sense, even in the logic of time travel, which you kind of do have to look at softly for it to make sense to begin with. But even with that, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like if somebody sent back a big Austrian-looking robot, cyborg, and forced them to remove the axe.
Different story.
Different.
That would be great. Give me the axe if you want to live.
remove
your shirt, your shoes, and your axe.
Remove the axe now.
Give it now. Give me the axe. Get to the chopper.
Yes.
Which the Wakandans have.
Which they have. It's true. All right. So, yeah. So then basically, then she convinces them. She shows them what the future is, and then they have to go ahead and put the axe back. So then Killmonger could one day see it and then cause the integration of Wakanda with the rest of the world, which allows them, I guess, in the future to fight off this alien invasion properly later on.
Because I think the whole theory, the whole thing behind it was, if Wakanda integrates, they use their technology to help the rest of the world, and they're able to beat the aliens. But they don't if they don't integrate, and then the aliens get too powerful for it to matter.
Yeah, exactly. Which those aliens, by the way, definitely look like that they were from the Matrix. The design of it.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this one I thought again. At least it ties into it, and basically it says, that this is. I guess they're saying that the events of this show are part of the MCU, the sacred timeline.
That is what they're saying.
I mean, that's what they're saying, right? They're saying Achilles,
which makes that make the time travel flub make less sense as well, because if it's part of the unless Wakanda is so powerful that they've got better technology than even the TVA, they got their own time travel network.
Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, because that was one of my dings that you mentioned earlier. Throughout history, how far advanced Wakandan technology is. There are people fighting with just anything, with dirt at certain points, like with anything, just sharp objects. And Wakanda has video capabilities and audio capabilities and flight way before the Wright brothers or anything like that.
It was way too much. Didn't make any sense. I mean, it makes sense that they would be more advanced because they got the vibranium.
Yes.
But it's not as if the vibranium landed and made them all overnight superior intellect where they know what to do with it. I mean, they still have to get to the societal point where they know what to do with it and how to use it. So how the hell are they building space shuttle or airplanes or whatever, or jet fighters or whatever the hell Bosch is riding around in history? Like, it didn't make any sense. They should be like 2 steps ahead of the world. That's it.
That would have been fair. But they're like 1,000 years ahead of the world, maybe more.
They've got today's technology back in BC times. I don't even understand how that works.
No, and you can't just say vibranium and just hand wave it with vibranium.
No,
that doesn't.
And I'm sorry, I don't care how good the Wakandans are. If you are thousands of years ahead of people technology-wise, people are going to find out, and they're going to be afraid of you as gods.
Yes. And you can see there were there were parts of the world that kind of had an idea that Wakanda is advanced. Like, this Iron Fist was in Wakanda. She saw Wakanda. She had an idea. Yes. She flew with them.
Yes. That's right. She flew with them.
Yes. She was in there. So something had to get out at some point. One would imagine.
And like all of these artifacts, who stole these artifacts? Who gave them away? Where did they like? I want to know more about who was able to. What primitive stick wielding pre societal barbarian was able to infiltrate the 10,000 year technology Wakanda? I mean, how were they gunned down by heat seeking turrets?
Well, wasn't it, to my understanding though, wasn't it the lion? His whole thing kind of like set some of this in motion with random stolen shit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so someone from Wakanda had to take it and then bring it out into the world. And
right.
Wakanda, throughout the years, is trying to stop that because, again, if it gets into the wrong hands and yada yada, then they're fearing what happens.
Technically, this is the same plot as the Friday the 13th television series.
Oh my god! Guess it ties together pretty nicely, though.
I mean, you got people who are sent out to find artifacts that, in the wrong hands, can be really dangerous. They're magical artifacts.
That's true. Jason's nowhere to be found in either series.
Either series, I think you get more Jason in this than you do in that.
It's probably a fair point.
I mean, if for nothing else, the fact that someone named Jason watched this.
It's true. That's already more. That's already more than Friday the 13th, the series had. Yeah. So I don't know. I still just feel like by the end of this, again, as much as I didn't like, I think episodes 3 and 4, like we both agree that it kind of saved it for us. This still isn't something I think is like essential viewing by any stretch of the imagination. No,
not at all.
No, I was kind of hoping there was going to be a Watcher somewhere in the sky, unless I missed it. I was looking around for it. I was hoping.
But you get a Watcher-like moment at the end where it's like, bringing together people from all the worlds, and you see all of the heroes from the 4, and then we go into the future, and it's like, was that a Watcher moment?
They kind of needed.
What was that, or is that it needed something?
Yeah, because Watcher,
like
the Watcher was in Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. The Watcher appears in X-Men '97. That should have been a thing that is through all Marvel animated stuff.
I agree with that. That would be a cool, because then it also lets you think like, oh, which universe does this take place in?
Yeah, even if they are saying it's the sacred timeline, then fine. The Watcher watches the sacred timeline as well. I mean, yes,
someone has to.
Someone has to. That's supposedly how this works, right?
Someone's gonna watch. Someone's gonna be watched.
Yes.
Someone has to flirt with Reed Richards.
It's true. All right, so I guess for Eyes of Wakanda, that's pretty much it. It was kind of like a short thing. So there's I guess MCU related before we wrap up and everything. Have you seen any of there's like constant leakage going on of things that around Spider-Man Brand New Day?
Oh, no, you know me. I avoid spoilers.
No. So do I. No. None of it's necessarily spoilery because. So I'm not sure if you saw any of this news, but I figured we could chat about it briefly before we wrap. So it's in production right now. They're filming Spider-Man Brand New Day. Mark Ruffalo has been confirmed. He is returning as the Hulk in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And John Bernthal is in this as the Punisher as well.
I'm curious to see, but I guess they said it was going to be more street level, so that makes sense.
But then you have the Hulk at the same time.
Yeah, but it's Bruce Banner Smart Hulk. What the fuck does he do besides?
I'm going to be honest. I have a feeling. No, I have a feeling that this is what somehow is going to undo it. Because I think they are going to go back to that. As something in the story, I think might undo it. I don't know. It's interesting, and they've also confirmed the return finally of the Scorpion, of Mac Gargan's Scorpion, is going to be in this. Finally,
okay. And he's a good street level villain to face off against, so that's cool.
Yeah, so
but they get the same actor, right?
Yes, no, they're bringing him back. Like finally, I kind of feel like the MCU is finally doing a thing of like, all right, maybe they went through the checklist of open-ended things, and like we need to start addressing these things because this is annoying right now.
It's been a while.
Yeah. But dude, the idea of Spider-Man and the Hulk and the Punisher all mixed in is very fascinating to me.
Yeah, I'm curious to where they go with it. And I could see where everyone fits in, but the Hulk.
Yes, exactly.
Unless he's like, but is he confirmed as Ruffalo as Banner or as Hulk? Because maybe we're just getting Banner. Maybe it's just like a cameo.
I don't know. No, there seems to be more than a cameo. Again, from
Okay.
these are just it's just speculation. And in the
Okay.
official like story that broke, it wasn't like that. But there's supposedly going to be Hulk in this, which Frank Castle's going to need some upgrades.
Yes.
Which,
And also, where does this fit in the timeline? Is this after Daredevil Born Again? Is this before Daredevil? Like, where does it fit? Because
the movie comes
that
out
matters
after
to Frank Castle.
Yes, no. Well, the thing is this. So John Bernthal right now, I think they just wrapped that Punisher special presentation that he's getting next year, like that mini movie. So next year we're getting Punisher in that. We're getting Punisher in Daredevil Born Again, and we're getting Punisher in Spider-Man. He's in 3 different projects next year.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll see. It'll give us all the context we need then, because we're going to be seeing a lot of them.
A lot of Punisher. Next year's like the year of the Punisher.
Okay, which I'm up for. I love what they did with him in Born Again. So I'm here for it.
Yeah. Now this comes out in July, which is after Daredevil Born Again.
Okay.
So I would imagine this follows the events of Daredevil Born Again season 2. Whatever happens, where that leaves him off.
Wonder if that's how the Scorpion is going to become the Scorpion, because if I'm not mistaken, it is Fisk, right?
Well, it's in the comics. It's J. Jonah Jameson.
It's J. Jonah Jameson. You're right. Fisk, I think, is the Rhino in the comics.
Well, yeah, like they do give birth like in ways to these villains, and I know that. By the way, it's funny you brought that up because there was also, allegedly there was like something that looked like a rhino head, like on set, and that was seen. So,
okay,
like we might be getting full on like bunch of Spider-Man villains that they haven't really addressed yet.
I'm here for it.
Me too.
Love me my Spider-Man villains.
Yes, the Rogues Gallery. We've always agreed the Rogues Gallery, him and Batman.
Yep.
The ultimates.
Top tier.
Top tier. Yeah, there's also an interesting thing that was thrown out there regarding this. Remember, nobody knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man in the MCU right now. In the comics, though,
I think I know where you're going with this.
When there was something like that, and the one person that avoided this was Hulk. And I'm curious to know if that's what happens in the movie. That would be pretty fucking great if that happens.
I would love that if the Hulk's only role is the person who actually remembers who the fuck Peter Parker is, and so he's like his only lifeline to his old that's a cool idea. And yeah, because the whole thing is like Hulk wasn't on Earth when that spell was cast, right? Banner was.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be pretty awesome if that's where it goes. Plus, I do hope that they use this to again undo or let's move on from Professor Hulk. Let's get back to
yeah. Which is the biggest irony for me is I was so excited to see Smart Hulk. But I really think it was like one of the biggest fuck ups of them handling something was how he became Smart Hulk, which is just, hey everyone, it happened between movies.
Then a 5-year gap.
Yes, and then they just didn't do anything with him, and so it's kind of like I liked him better when he was just the Hulk. I thought like peak Hulk to me is Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, and. Listen, I know I like Incredible Hulk more than you do, but the Hulk part of that I thought was pretty awesome.
I agree. Not
a perfect
stretch, but no. And I kind of missed the analogy that was going on. Like every time you checked in on the Hulk, he was a bit smarter, could speak a bit more, almost as if he himself was growing, like, because in the first Hulk, he's monosyllabic, and by Ragnarok, he's having conversations with you and reasoning with you, and like and then all of a sudden he's Smart Hulk, and then again they never used him in the Thanos movie, the Infinity Gauntlet, so that made it worse. So yeah, I'm with you. Bring back stupid Hulk. Give us make him Gray Hulk if you want. I don't care. Just give us a not like Child Hulk, but give us like
Mr.
the Hulk. Mr. Fix-It. Give us Mr. Fix-It, yes. With that's the one with the derby, right? The
yes. That's If you're gonna turn him gray, you gotta go with like Mr. Fix-It.
Give me a 20-part miniseries with Mr. Fix-It and Logan, not Wolverine, but Logan before he was the Wolverine, getting into criminal adventures, which I think might have been a comic run.
Or do you want 90s Hulk when he had fucking machine guns and shit like that?
Oh my god, no, I don't. No, I like Hulk when he uses his hands.
Yeah, I'm just curious to know like the Punisher thing too, is because there is a point where Frank Castle has the War Machine armor, and he paints the skull on it in the comics. That's definitely a thing. I wonder how awesome would it be though if he goes in and nabs that, and that's his way to kind of like try to be able to hang with the Hulk a little bit. If he, I would imagine we're gonna get maybe some Punisher versus Hulk action.
Yeah,
he needs something, obviously.
He's gonna, absolutely. Unless it's just still Smart Hulk, and he's like, "Oh, I brought some tea and crumpets. Oh, let's chat then. Have you read this book? I've read this book." And then he just kind of calms the Hulk down. He turns back into Bruce Banner, and then it's over.
Imagine how pissed off Frank Castle would be if we ran into that. I could see him having one of those conversations he does like with fucking with Matt Murdock in there, and just like just let him have it.
I want you to get angry, you big green fucker.
Imagine that's how he turns into like Angry Hulk again. That's what undoes Professor Hulk.
That would be great. Just John Bernthal yelling and smacking him in the face.
Yes. Because the three of them are probably going to team up by the end of the movie. So.
Of course.
That has to happen. All right. Well, I guess that does kind of do it for us then.
That's it.
That wraps it up.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us as always. If you joined us on the Facebook live stream, be sure to check out Granny's Peach Tea's Facebook group. It's a lot of fun there. We drop trailers and articles and whatnot there, so you can have some fun with us there. Also, Pop Culture Pros. Check out their Facebook group and popculturepros.com because that's who we are presented by. On YouTube, subscribe to Pop Culture Pros and wherever you found your audio-only podcast. That Jason mentioned also, we will be back. We'll be covering Sandman Season 2. And also, we do have another series that begins on Tuesday.
Okay.
Because we are going to be diving into Aliens, Predator, Alien, and Alien Earth drops its first 2 episodes on Tuesday on FX.
So it begins.
Because this technically is the first of the in this timeline. Alien Earth is supposed to be the first, in the story of Alien. So in a way, it kind of makes sense that we would maybe start here then, even though not like the original. So, and it's gotten rave reviews so far, so I'm pretty excited about that we get to check.
All right, I'm interested. I'll take a look.
So, all right, so we shall see you next week. Peace.